This conference will now be recorded.
All right, as always, everything that we're going to be talking about is for educational purposes only. Nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. Today is Thursday, October 4th, and so far we've had an absolutely phenomenal start to our October. Great moves, a lot of stocks following the rules absolutely perfectly. Overall, our volume's been really good, and we've been actually even been getting some afternoon moves, which is, pretty unlike what we've seen over the past few months. All right, so let's get going with first of all NBEV. So this morning, coming into it at 9 o'clock, we ended up seeing, 9 o'clock. Coming into about 8:30, we at the 9 level, we had some really great prints, and I don't know if it's going to let me go back to. Actually, it should. But coming up, here we go. Right here at that 9 level, we did have a brand new buying coming back in. So we're expecting this pullback, but once we're done with this pullback, we definitely need to see this thing end up coming back up towards that 9 level. And then, the first price target that we'd have would be about 950 once we get that trigger below. So far, this is by far the best show of hand that we've seen coming into the morning. And the only other thing that I really care too much about this morning is ARWR. So coming back, we have some decent selling prints, coming at that 2250 level as we came back down. And then coming into 2150, same type of deal. I mean, there's more selling than we've seen buying. Now, the one thing about it is that I do expect to see that selling because of the fact that, the stock going up like that. All right, there's going to be profit taking when the stock goes from 1856 on the close all the way up to pretty much that 2250. So we're going to be expecting it to continue down. As long as we keep getting that new selling coming in, what's going to end up happening is we're going to see it come back down to this 1970 print line right here. Something's going on. Okay. So basically what I'm looking for is just continued new selling and then us coming back down to that 1970. And then once we get to that 1970, that's where we're going to, kind of focus on any type of new information. But we do need to still continue to see that new selling coming in, continue to see that profit taking. And then other than that, like I said, I haven't really seen anything else out there that I see really a clear show of hand in. Let's take a look at our scanners. Let's see if anything new came in, but unfortunately, it does not look like it. So we have IZEA, 1.5 million shares coming in. Made a beautiful move this morning, but the volume itself really didn't stay consistent, and I don't see anything that's showing us that we're going to be able to continue back up towards that 250 level. So just not something that I'm really that interested in. BKS, 172,000 shares, but another one, Barnes & Nobles, I mean, it trades 28 cents on average each day. Yeah, it did make, a pretty substantial jump in the aftermarket yesterday, but just nothing that, that we should be focusing on coming into the morning, just better stuff out there. ARWR, we've already talked about. We have CLDR, 312,000 shares. Now, this one's not bad. I do have this on my list, but it was an iffy one before. And the reason being, it's just the volume that I saw coming into it. I'm not seeing any really great prints that are showing us exactly where this thing needs to go. Coming back down at that 21 level, we did get a little bit of selling, but you can see ever since then, there's not really enough new selling there for us to be able to see anything that's really going on. So it's continuing down. 1950, we're coming to this double bottom right here. 1950 is going to tell us a lot. So we need to see new selling coming into that 1950 level, and that's going to tell us that we're going to be able to continue. Breaking underneath 20, remember 20, big psychological level. So the fact of it breaking underneath, certainly something that we want to pay attention to. Because even coming underneath the psychological level, a lot of times it's very hard for it to hold. We end up seeing it come right back up. So that 1950, we're going to need to see some type of new selling, some type of show of hand in order for us to continue on that way down. SAEX, 450,000 shares, absolutely nothing. BLRX, same type of deal. I mean, MBEV we already know about. And then pretty much everything else that I've seen out there, just not really any type of great show of hand that we have. Moving along over to the loser side of things, OGEN. So this is just put a fork in it. It doesn't mean that we're not going to end up coming back up above that 3, but essentially what happened was we did satisfy the buying that we had at 3. A 75-cent move on a $3 stock is a huge amount. So like I said, we did already satisfy that 3. So as of right this second, it just does not look good for it. Doesn't look like we're going to end up coming back up. PTIE was on our list yesterday, made a nice little move, but as of right this second, it's on a downtrend, can't short it, so there's really nothing for us to pay attention to there. IGC is just taking a big hit. I mean, this thing is getting absolutely smashed. Now, we know it needed to pull back underneath that 9 level, and it's done that, more than we would have even expected it to have to do. But I'm not seeing any new great buying coming into it. This is another one. I'm going to need some type of show, a new show of hand to tell us whether or not the stock is going to be done, or we're going to end up seeing it come back up. VTVT, 256,000 shares. Beautiful move yesterday, but you know what? It's just there's nothing there for us. I mean, as of right this second, we pushed up to that 6. We made our money. Remember, at that 4 level, okay, we weren't even expecting it to go as high as it did, but it just pretty much has been selling off ever since, and there's just not enough volume in it to tell us that we're going to end up coming back. Remember, these smaller stocks, a lot of times it's more like a sprint. So what happens is they make their move, they make it quick, but then they end up kind of dying out and not continuing anymore. ACST, 1.2 million shares, absolutely nothing going on there. TRVN, nothing, and nothing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Although anyone that is trading Snap longer term, it's good morning for you. Being able to break underneath that 8 level. Breaking under that 8 level, that's a pretty big deal right now. So let's, I'm not going to watch it at all because it's an absolutely terrible day trade, but nothing going on there. Yeah, I just saw MNGA out of the corner of my eye. It's going back up, but it's, I mean, it's jumped pretty much 6 cents. It looked like a lot more on my other chart, but it's getting good buying, something to look at. It's going to be on my side list because I don't really have too much hope in it really being able to do that much. And you just sign up with news when the stock is done. Don't give it more attention than it deserves. Okay. Anything in Facebook and TLRY? So Facebook yesterday, remember, we saw a huge amount of selling that came in at that 160 level. Okay, so if we come back down here and we look at our 160, we have a ton. Somebody took a really big position. So we are expecting it to still continue down. It's just been pretty much on a pull-up from the amount that we saw. And it didn't only happen once. Remember, it happened twice. So as of right now, the pre-market, it's not showing us anything yet, but we do have that story that we're going to be expecting this to fall underneath 160. And then TLY, as always, is just a huge mover, and and nothing really too great. I mean, we did have some ass prints that came back in at the 152, but no real big show of hand in it yet. And remember, on a stock that moves, on average, to at least $10, we have to get more of a show of hand than anything that we're seeing out there. All right, AMD, we know from yesterday had some huge selling at that 30 level. My one thing that I would look for, there are still some prints sitting at the 30-50 level on that S side, and it really did not pull up as much as I would have expected it to. So I wouldn't be shocked to see this thing run back up above before we see it really make its move down. But as of right now, the volume it's pretty weak for what we usually see within there. So there's not really any type of show of hand yet. It's just we're basing it off of what we saw for yesterday's story. All right, anything else out there that I missed? MNGA already talked about. IMPX, I'll take a look at. What time is happy hour? IMPX, there's absolutely nothing going on. It's not a stock I would even look at. Yeah, there's just better stuff out there for us to be paying attention to. And MNGA, we've already spoken about. All right, guys, so let's get ready. Hold on. Let's see. PTIE already talked about as well. There's just nothing there for us. I mean, it made its move yesterday, and it's dying out. Nothing that I can see right now that would make us pay attention to it. And then, let's see, DNR. DNR is not a stock I would ever trade, so there's absolutely nothing there that I can see at all. And then SNX had earnings, but volume is crap. Yeah, there's SNX, absolutely nothing going on with it as well. All right, guys, let's get ready for the morning. I will talk to everyone in the chat room, and happy trading.